Over the last couple of days, I've had a couple of interesting conversations about motor vehicles. One about electric ones, and one about the internal combustion engine and what's going to happen. The electric vehicle conversation I was having was whether they really are the answer to, reducing emissions and all the rest of it, or is it just a fad that everybody's jumped on because Elon Musk started it with Tesla and they've decided this is the answer. There are other technologies coming through, of course, which could prove that there might be some issues there. If you believe that electric cars aren't the answer, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on it. The other conversation I had was about my vehicle, my Tornio minibus, what I do with that when it gets to end of life. Now, looking at the cost of things with insurance and vehicles and everything at the moment, they're just going up and up and up and up and up. And to get the equivalent vehicle that I have at the moment, at the point I took it on, I would have to pay about 3 times more than I did when I first got it 2 or 3 years ago. Now, that brings an interesting point. What do? Do I go and get an expensive fat bank loan, buy it like that, saddle myself up for 5 years? Or do I look at something like replacing the engine with a newer one and going down that route? Well, I read that there's a new EU directive that's being spoken about, which could put a bit of a spanner in the works. I mean, these are the kinds of cars that we're talking about, and it's generally, 10, 15 years old plus where this may apply. I'll read this thing out to you so you can see what it's all about. The proposal, originating from the European Commission and yet to be ratified, aims to phase out older, more polluting vehicles in favour of environmentally friendly options. The prospective regulation awaiting approval from the European Parliament and the Council introduces the notion of a residual vehicle. Cars experiencing failures in major components such as engines, transmissions, brakes or steering and deemed old will fall under this category. Once labelled as residual, these vehicles would be barred from undergoing significant repairs and would likely be scrapped. The EU's ambitious Fit for 55 programme seeks to eliminate direct transport emissions by 2050, with interim goals including a 55% reduction by 2030 from the 1990 levels. Now, there are a lot of things out there like classic cars. There are a lot of vehicles out there like mine that do a lot of mileage and they're well serviced and maintained. What happens with them if they need something done? And also, reading between the lines, I do wonder where they're starting to worry that there's not a big upkeep or uptick in the purchase of electric vehicles and that sort of thing. And yet again, they're trying to force the issue and steer us all down an unaffordable route. Most electric cars now, for example, are quite pricey, to say the least, let alone the repair bills and everything else. And I can foresee a situation where only the more affluent of individuals will be able to drive a car the way we're going. Therefore, you've got buses, LTNs, cycles, and all the rest of it coming through. That's where I think this is going. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to see another one of my videos on this kind of thing, have a look at that one there. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.